Yes, sir.
So most of your gang career, quote unquote, took place in prison.
Yep. Yes, sir.
And by the time you turned 18, even though you were a juvenile when this happened, you're on your way to the state penitentiary.
Yeah, county for like 2-3 months, then to the prison. Yep.
So they took you from juvenile hall to the
To
county.
and then from county to prison.
What was it? What kind of? Is there a special section in the county for juveniles?
No. Well, I was already 18 when I went to the county,
Okay.
so you know what I mean? Yeah, I just pretty much.
How long after you turned 18 did they say bye from Silmar?
Till I got sentenced. But the only reason why I stood longer than I turned 18 was because I was taking college courses. I got my GED and then I was taking college courses. So they let me stay and do my college courses. But once I was sentenced, they're like, gotta go.
And the county jail, even though you was there for a short period of time, what was it like for you as a probably one of the youngest persons in there at the time,
for
right?
sure. Yup, for sure. At first it was a little hard, you know what I mean? Cause I'm coming from juvenile hall to where you getting down with your enemies, you know what I mean? Anything goes, and then now I gotta abide by a lot of rules. So at first it was hard, but since I knew that I was just passing by and on my way upstate for X amount of years, I just soaked up game, you know what I mean? I just try to hang around with the homies that I knew had a good head on their shoulders, and I'll just pick up everything, you know, try to learn as much as I can.
Now you got busted in 2008?
Yeah, 2008.
Now in 2008 there was actually a TV show called Peacemaker that was covering this part of
I remember
the city.
that. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I believe it was the Queen Streets were involved, and I think they didn't really go into.
He stopped the Inglewood family neighborhood parole on Queen Street.
Yeah.
I remember he did a meeting. I seen that upstate. Yeah.
I actually just interviewed the guy that was a part of that show, Malik Spellman. That interview dropped, I think last year. Okay, so now you go to the penitentiary. Now, what was your feeling like when you're in the county and you're going to prison? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you anxious? What was going through your mind at that time?
Man, I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. I was nervous, anxious, a little bit of everything, you know? I just remember getting picked up by the county bus and then getting dropped off at Chino. And I'm jumping off the bus and I'm, like I said, I'm nervous, a little bit scared, shackled up. And as soon as I jump off the bus, I start walking a little bit. I just hear, "Smokey, what's up, my boy?" It was the homie Shaggy from AK Locals and the homie Necio from Sanfed yelling out the windows, "That's right, eso." So I'm not gonna lie, I went from feeling like all that nervousness and all that, like it kind of went away, like knowing like, cool, I got somebody here, you know? Cause I was with both of them in Silmar for 2 years, so it's like, it kind of alleviated that a little bit, you know?
What's AK Locals?
They're out like over there by North Hollywood. They're alley criminal locals. It's not a neighborhood, but it's kind of like a little crew, you know?
Okay, so were you on your way to reception with these guys here?
Yeah, I was on my way to reception and they were already there. In Chino, they were in Madrone. They got like windows facing the intake area. So I guess they were inside the cell reception, you're locked down, you know what I mean? 23/7. So they were just looking, I guess, and they just recognized me. And they just started yelling out my name, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, like that right there, like
now,
I can't explain it, you know?
Let's talk about what your family was dealing with while you're fighting this case. First, while you're arrested, your family finds out, they got to deal with it. You're fighting it for 2 years. What was your mom's, your brother, your sister? What were they going through? You know, it must have been. We always think of the person that got to go do the time, but also the family's got to deal with the stresses that comes with that too.
For sure, that's a good question too. I would say mom's was just trying to hang in there, you know, trying to be strong. Brother was there, you know what I mean, for whatever we needed. I would say my little sister, you know, I would say my little sister is kind of one of the ones that felt it a lot. Like, she was stuck to my hip type. You know what I mean? I used to just, she was 8. She was 8 when I went in. So, you know what I mean? I can't imagine, you know what I mean? An 8-year-old, like, damn, you know, my brother just went in there and he's fighting for his life, you know what I mean? Like, I would say, you know, me, the way I was thinking, I'm young, just got put on the neighborhood. Regardless of whatever I was going through, my mentality is just, I'm gonna make a name for myself, you know? So I was just kind of just rolling with it. So yeah, that I would say they kind of were the ones going through it, you know?
Now, being that young, there's no way you understood prison politics, right?
Yeah, for sure.
How quick did you learn it, though?
I would say, you know, I'm a type of person, I pick up on things a little quick, you know? And like I said, I knew that I was going upstate, so I'll just soak up game, you know? I can't say I know it all, but I knew what I needed to know to get by, you know?
Were there any other Inglewood treses in there when you got to either reception or wherever you went after that?
When I was in reception, I crossed paths with the homie Little Bullet. He ended up coming in on a violation. And the only other member that I've ran into is the homie Garfield. Shout out to homie Garfield. And he's actually one of the homies that put me on the neighborhood.
So that was in Chino?
No, in Chino, I ran into Little Bullet. I ran into the homie Garfield and Shafter on MCCF, like later on down the line.
Okay, before we talk about prison, one guy told on your case. Actually, did you have 2 co-defendants?
Yeah, I had 2 co-defendants, yep.
Okay, and the other co-defendant, we didn't really go into his story, but just briefly talk about what happened to him, you know.
Yeah. So, like I said, one co-defendant ended up telling, you know what I mean? But my other co-defendant that kept it solid, he ended up pleading out to a dope case that he had pending. He went to Ironwood, did time in Ironwood, kept it solid, and he ended up getting out and got deported. And he ended up getting killed in Guatemala. That's why I say rest in peace to homie Necio. You know what I mean? They ended up taking him away from us over there.
So how much time did he have to... He was on your same case though, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't get as much time as you did.
No, because the witnesses that they had said that they only saw 2 people in the car. So at first, them 2 were busted for it. But once homeboy told, he ended up putting me as the shooter, so they took homeboy out the case. He ended up pleading out to a case he had pending.
But the guy that was telling, wouldn't he have put Necio at the scene of the crime too, so that he could get some time? Or it didn't
Yeah,
work that
no,
way?
he did. He did, but the way that they seen it, right, since he had a case pending, and it was just like he got caught with like a gram of coke. They gave him like 2 years for a gram of coke. So they got him, because come on, who gets 2 years for a gram of coke? He could have got a rehab, you know what I mean, or a Prop 36, you know what I mean? But they're like, look, plead out to this 2 years on this, and we'll drop this, because they already knew that they had me, you know?
And he took that deal probably.
Yeah,
with
he
quickness.
took that deal quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took that deal quick.
Okay, so you found out about what happened to Necio in prison.
Yeah, I was in prison when that happened.
Okay. All right, so now you want to make a name for yourself. How does one make a name for themselves as a Southsider in the CDCR?